Yo, what's cracking? What's popping? What's shaking, everybody? Happy Friday. What's good, Grace? How's it going?
I'm nervous, man. I think the prep for this episode for me was like so stressful.
Honestly, just to maybe hopefully relieve some stress, I have zero prep for this episode. Okay? Um,
Honestly, I think the reason that like it's like the most I'm just like is because I think like even when someone asks me like, "Oh, what's my favorite like MCU film?" It's a hard thing to answer, even though like anyways, but I needed to make sure I had some things. Otherwise, I feel like it was just going to be all over the place. But I'm excited. It's exciting. I'm excited to kind of read these things. How are you doing
I'm
today?
good. This is going on episode 17, and uh, for you all who read the title right, we are ranking all of the MCU movies, and in total there are 27. And I recently found a ranking page that had the list of the 27 movies, but it also shows what other people have ranked the movies, like they show their list. And in looking at it, I was just like, some of these are kind of crazy. And the other day on Wednesday, I was having a conversation with our boy Jesse, and he mentioned a movie which we will get to, that I told you that we are going to discuss, and we will get there. I'm a little excited about that one, but I'm going to change up the screen here. I got like, wait, hold on there. Where? Let me see. All right, there it is. All right, there was a glitch in the matrix, but
Tell me the sound was off,
no,
the
no, we're
video
good.
was
It was the
off.
video. No, we
Okay.
got all the sound here. So say as far as what we got going. I'd like to thank the MCU crew for setting up this template, because I was looking everywhere online just as far as how I can kind of make it like visually make sense. And here they made it simple as far as like you see a little bit of everything here as far as these numbers. And what they have right now is everything from like the very first one, which is Iron Man, and then it goes all the way to the last, which is No Way Home. So I think, Grace, we should start from the bottom and work our way up. How does that sound?
Let's do it. Let's do I feel like honestly it's so easy to kind of pull like I think the bottom films, because overall the MCU is like pretty damn good. Like for the quantity of films we've
Mm-hmm.
had, like they're I would still say like 98% of them are amazing. Not just like watchable, but like amazing.
Okay.
So I think starting from the bottom might actually be pretty easy, or it might be the best route to take.
Okay. All right. So looking at the list, and say right now, I think as far as the bottom five, I don't have a particular order, but I do want to throw. Where is it? Thor: The Dark World down there. Now, is it last? I have no idea, but as of right now, I think I want to work with the bottom five and then kind of build from there. Okay.
Like an hour and a half of us just trying to order the bottom five.
Okay. So wait. Quick question. Just because technical difficulties aside, uh, you're kind of cutting out. I don't know if it's your earbud or whatnot.
Hold on.
I
Talking,
can't
does
hear
it sound
anything.
the same? Oh no, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. I can hear you now. Okay. But like say so
Okay.
far it's kind of been like cutting in and out, so I'll work with you here. All right. So far right now, you know what? Just for safety's sake, I am just going to put it at number 27. Thor: The Dark World is at number 27 right now. Okay? And then from there, if you want to throw something else in the bottom five, I'll let you go next. You go ahead.
A Hulk in the bottom five.
Hulk with Edward Norton.
Actor. And that's the one where we see Iron Man come out at the end of it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's I would put that at the bottom.
Yeah, and that's it.
We start?
That's the one. That is the movie that I told you we were gonna have a conversation about. Simply because, listen, Jesse, right now, he said, no, no, no. Now I'll cry, because I told him that like a few of these lists that I saw, they put Hulk at the very last. And right now, is that what you're putting? You're putting the Hulk as number 27?
List, like roughly, just to give me some ground.
Okay.
Otherwise, I feel like I was gonna be wishy-washy through the entire episode. But I think like when like compiling my like last few, like Hulk is like the 27 on mine.
Okay. So
And yes, yes.
here's where I'm gonna argue. Okay, because I understand that the Incredible Hulk is, um, it was like, say, one of the first movies, but yet it's now one of the only movies where the star is no longer seen throughout the MCU. Like, we've only had but like a couple casting change, like Rhodey, him, and maybe one other. Or I think it may be just those two. But when it comes down to the Hulk as a story and a movie, I would have put the Incredible Hulk. If there was a bottom five, I would have actually made that six above the five that I have. Okay, just because I won't put Thor: The Dark World over the Incredible Hulk, just because Thor came off too dramatic for me. It was less like, I'm glad that they switched it up in Ragnarok, but I feel like it went in a direction to the point to where, like, if Ragnarok had the same feel as the Dark World, then I may have just chucked the deuce to to Thor, if that makes sense. So far we have, I think I want to keep the Dark World at 27 and the Incredible Hulk at 26. But from there, I'm gonna bring it on. Hmm?
I was just gonna say, and before we like move on to add like more into our bottom
Mm-hmm.
five, the reason I had the Hulk as like the last one, because as a film, it's not bad, but honestly, like whenever I've thought of like the MCU, it's just not a film that I've put in, and I don't know if it's because of when right this movie came out. I was like I think I was like in middle
Mm-hmm.
school, and maybe because of like the switch of the actor. Honestly, I don't even think I saw like the Iron Man scene when I saw the movie. I think I saw it way after the fact. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I have such a disconnect with that movie and the MCU that if I was to rate it at like in my list of MCU movies, that would be at the bottom for me, like a firm 27.
Okay.
As a film itself, like just saying like in compare, with because I don't think it was bad. The storyline was good. I remember enjoying it. I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it recently.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be higher as a film in total, but like as an MCU film for me, it's just so disconnected. It's hard for me to like
Wait,
something
hold
I
on.
don't
It's so
like.
hard for you.
Go
You
ahead.
cut out. What'd you say? You said it's so hard for.
Me to like even put it in like my category of MCU films that I'm like, if I'm gonna add it, it's gonna be on the bottom because it's something I just don't bring in. And like I said, that might just be a fault of my age and where I am and when I saw this movie. But that's why for me it stands at 27. But in terms of overall, I'm not gonna be mad and say it's if we put it at 26,
Okay.
But that's just kind of my piece of like why the Hulk is rated where it is for me.
Now, uh, going into the next one, I think for me, because Eternals is already kind of down here in this area, just as far as how this list is kind of listed. You know, it's it was technically the 26th movie to come out, but I do want to just kind of drag it on further down, back to 26. Oh no, 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 no. Hold on. Okay, hold on. All right, we're good. We're good. We're Gucci. All right, so Thor the Dark World, then The Incredible Hulk, which I'm just going to leave there at 26. Why is it bugging out? Don't bug out on me. Okay. All right. And now we have The Eternals at 25. So, comments, questions, concerns.
Looking at the bottom five, the Eternals is in my bottom five.
Okay.
Like just because when you're looking at the MCU as a whole, most films are freaking great. Like we both agree, Eternals fell short in a lot of different areas. I don't think it's as bad as you think it is.
Okay.
And like I don't know. I might actually budge on it because I'm looking at my other like ones that I have on my bottom five, and I think reflecting, I'm like maybe I would call it a 24 for me, just because I think I like it a little bit more than like the original Thor, which is on my bottom five.
Okay.
But I think so far we're kind of in agreement in a way, because we're like just maybe one or two off of where we would place it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see.
I'm not hating.
Jesse, he said, I'm not gonna say his number one worst movie, but the second he put he put Eternals as, like, if it were number 26. He put Eternals at 26. That makes sense. So I'm in no disagreement there. The Eternals, if I wanted to, I would, if this was my list, but this is our list. This is the Comic Cinematic Universe list, okay? But if it were mine, I would have just dropped it all the way down to 27. It would have been a battle between either Eternals or Thor the Dark World. I can't really tell you which one is better, but that's just me.
I'm at 25. I originally put it on my 23rd one,
Yeah.
but just reflecting on the other ones I have, I think it's a solid 25. I like it better than Dark World as a movie, just for a lot of different things. And I already told you, Hulk is at the bottom. I feel like I just don't even put it in. So I'm going to stand firm at my 25. But this is our list.
Yeah. So we're moving on to 24, and I believe this is your pick. You go ahead.
Kind of my bottom is Thor, the first one, and the reason I have it there is just because it's just like a rushed film just to bring him in before the Avengers. It's not bad, but there's nothing that sparks to me. If anything, the biggest thing that sparks to me is Loki, you know what I mean? But I would say that's my next one on the bottom.
Oh, goodness. All right, so you have that at 24. You have Thor at 24. I'm sorry. Every time that I drag, come on, MCU crew, y'all need to fix this bug. If I'm plugging y'all little rating system here, but all right. So Thor, the first one is 24 for you. Okay, so I won't disagree, just because Thor as a movie, when it first came out. By this point, Iron Man had came out, and I was excited after The Incredible Hulk came out, but I had no idea who Thor was. I've seen him in a few animated series. I didn't know anything about him in the comic or whatnot. So for me, I think this was a decent intro for him. This is super cocky, boastful Thor that hasn't been humbled yet, because as the years progress and the movies progress, we kind of get a more mature Thor. But this is even though he's 1,000 years old, he's still immature in this movie. So I think we've grown to love him as time progresses, and his movies will continue to go further up. Say Dark World was kind of a dud, but he definitely came back in Ragnarok. So I'm not mad at the first Thor being 24. Okay, moving on.
Still trying to. I was just gonna make a note that I think they were also just trying to still figure out the formula for Thor, even in the second film. But I feel the first one, it was the magic wasn't there. Like when Ragnarok hit, that was a whole different world. And another thing with like Thor, that first one that I have an issue with, is I feel like they, I don't know, bring her into this like just like a groupie. Like she's just like this is
Right.
an intelligent
Right.
woman with like multiple degrees. She has a doctorate, all of that. And they kind of like belittle her to just this like love struck little thing, where she's like almost not thinking to reason because of Thor's like pecs, and that kind of bothers me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sounds like we agree though. Yes, so far so
Quick
good.
question from Jesse Pinkman. He asked, "Is this MCU ranking for everyone, or is it just made in purpose for this podcast?" Now, Jesse, I know you have a Twitch, and this group called the MCU Crew. They actually made this for anybody who has a Twitch. So if you wanted to go on there and do your own ranking and submit it, you can. And I thought it'd be fun just for Grace and I to submit like an official list for the comic cinematic universe, and this is going to be our official list. So now going forward, when movies start to come out, we're just going to pretty much move that movie somewhere within the list that we already have. So we're kind of knocking out a big chunk today, to where, say, later if we're going to do a review, maybe at the end of that review we'll just add that movie to that list, if that makes sense. Does that make sense to you, Grace?
Right, because I feel like we've like vaguely discussed where movies fall on our own ranking, and now we can be very like objective about it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 23. Okay, let's just see. I gotta check out the list from the top and see what can come down as 23. Because so far, is that our bottom five? Actually, no. We've done our bottom four.
Yeah.
So say, hmm, I think I may throw Ant-Man and the Wasp down.
Oh, no! No!
Argue
Veto!
it.
I'm like,
Argue it. Talk to me. I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead.
okay. So Ant-Man, I mean, okay, let's just first start off that Ant-Man in general and then Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Mm-hmm.
I think their vibes just do lean a little bit closer to the films that I gravitate
Mm-hmm.
towards. So obviously I am biased. All of this is biased. But I just feel like there's other films that stand out to me as not as great of hits.
All right.
Like Ant-Man and the like I mean I don't know if you want me to throw out
Throw
mine,
throw
the
throw out
last
your
one
next
I got
one,
for
and then
it.
if I believe that it is better or worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp, then we can put that movie at 23. So tell me, what would you put at number 23?
The one I have is Captain Marvel. That's like the
I was
last
looking
one
at
on my
it.
bottom
I was
five.
looking at it. I
Oh
was
my
like, do I want to? And I was really actually considering it. You know what? I'm not mad. Okay. We're putting Captain Marvel at
Yeah,
23.
and let me tell you why. I feel like the characters in Ant-Man and the Wasp are very well developed, and I feel like their character arcs are very good. Like when you look at Scott Lang,
Mm-hmm.
when you look at Hope, when you look at I'm skipping on his Hank Pym, even like the mom, like they all have really great storylines. And I mean, come on, we have what are the two characters that we have? One's played by is it IT, and then there's a TI.
Ti.
I feel like I'm messing up. Yeah,
Michael
IT.
Pena.
TI. There you go. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. See, this is why I have you.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we're together
Yep.
here. It's just like overall, I think the characters are so well developed and the story is really good. And with Captain Marvel, I don't have too many issues with the way the story was told. Maybe here or there are some problems with it,
Mm-hmm.
but more so like I feel like Captain Marvel's character, I think they missed the mark with it. It's the first female-led MCU film, and I think they were trying so hard to like elude of like I strong, I this, but it's like as a result, they almost lost some of the humanness in Carol Danvers.
Mm.
Like something that keeps coming up is the idea of like your emotions are like clouding your
Right.
judgment, your emotions. Like this woman does not have many emotions.
My
Like I
but
mean, for
like
God's
let me
sake, like
say, with that entailed, like, because the way that I forgot the guy's name in the movie that was all about don't show your emotion. If this is more so, say, a Kree thing to be emotionless, then I will say the Ronin, the Kree version of Ronin, was super emotional in Guardians of the Galaxy. So I have no idea why he was all about kind of taming her emotion while training her.
Was anger. Like that's the biggest thing. I think they were like, trying so hard to not make her feel vulnerable, but vulnerability isn't equal to lack of strength. Like I think Black Widow displays that really
Mm-hmm.
well. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to be a robot to be a strong female character. And so for that reason, I think Captain Marvel could have done a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope when we see her again, like she has much more of a developed like character. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see her again, but this just wasn't a full hit. Like there was something missing from it when I first watched it, and it took me a while to realize. And I think that's what it was. Like she did it. She needed more emotion. She needed more like humanness to her character. So that's why she's very much on like that bottom five for me. And I'm happy we agree.
Okay, so say with that being said, um, because there's two movies here that I have for, let's say, 21 and 22. Ant-Man and the Wasp still being one of them, just because I know as the further up we get, the harder it's gonna get because the movies are getting better here. Okay, so you may not want to have Ant-Man and the Wasp so low, but I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that there's a lot of better movies here. So I think with that, I want to put Ant-Man and the Wasp at number 22. Okay?
I'll give it.
Thank
I'll
you.
give it. And something honest, honestly, like I think once we move away from the bottom five,
Mm-hmm.
like it does get so hard to do them because it's almost like it's you know they have a different like tone and feel to each of them. Like when you compare Ant-Man and the
Right.
Wasps to say like Captain America, the First Avenger, like both of them are great films, but they're a very different feel. So it's kind of hard to be like which one do. So it honestly comes down to a lot of preference.
Mm-hmm.
So here, like I'm very willing for compromise. So I like honestly Ant-Man and the Wasp is maybe like just three up from there for me. So I'm like, you know what? Let's give it.
Okay.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that was mine. So you go ahead and tell us what's next.
So the one I have next is Captain America: The First
Okay.
Avenger. That's my next one.
Okay.
And again, not because it's a bad movie. I love that
Mm-hmm.
movie. Again, it just kind of comes down to like preference in here. Like it's not one I will gravitate towards
Mm-hmm.
to rewatch
Right.
as much as other ones. It is a great introduction, much better than Thor was,
Mm-hmm.
for Thor. I think this one did a lot better for Steve Rogers, but there's just other films that I think did much better.
I think I'm in total agreement with you. And say when it comes down to Captain America, Jesse said, "Damn," but say when it comes down to that movie, yes, I liked it. Right? Did I love it? Not really. It like she said, it was a good intro, but I feel like I got uh my feelings, like I kind of felt the, what do I want to say? Shit, I can't think of the word. But it's when they showed that first episode of What If, like I caught those kind of same feelings of watching Captain America again, but now it's with Peggy Carter. But like say even watching that episode is an episode to where I feel like I probably won't even go back to watch it. And it's nothing against it being a bad episode. It's just that those kind of stay right there. And it was never really like anything to have me gravitate to it more, if that makes sense.
Honest, when I do rewatch it, like I rewatch it more so for like the first third because something I think they did so well in this is that they allowed you to like fall in love with Steve
Mm-hmm.
Rogers before you were wowed by Captain America, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know? You saw why I'm blanking on the doctor's name, but you see why he was picked. You know, like I really love that because he's like I'm trying to think of other ones, but he's the one who really had like a 360 transformation when it came to his, you know, everything, like his physical
Mm-hmm.
appearance, his abilities, his strength, all of that. And so that's one of the reasons I do love that
Yeah.
movie. But again, like I'm like after the first third, I'm like, okay, I'll like go forward just to feel the heartstrings
Right.
of like Bucky's death, and then the ending where he's just like, you know, goes into the iceberg, and that's kind of it. But yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Like never mind. We'll get further to it because like I don't want to compare it to the other his other two movies that came out. So it's a good start for where it was, but again they just got better over time. So um all right, so we have Captain America: The First Avenger at 21. So we're moving on to number 20, and for number 20, let's check out the rest. What do I want to do? Because it's. Oh, okay. So for number 20, I'm going to throw Avengers Age of Ultron at number 20. Wait, what'd you say? What'd you
Ah,
say?
I walk away. I'm done. Oh, this gets so hard.
It does get
It's
hard, but say I've said it before in the What If series podcast, but the What If Ultron is what we should have got for Age of Ultron instead of the this comical machine that we got. I understand that this was Joss Whedon's last movie and we got his comical antics out of there, out of the MCU, but there was too many one-liners, too many cheesy jokes, and it got to the point to where for me I was like, okay, this isn't this isn't like just kind of looking back, this isn't Infinity War. This isn't something that really has uh too much consequence. Yes, I understand the whole Sokovia situation and that led to the other further thing, but as far as just the movie in itself, I feel like they could have done a better job with the villain. And I understand, like, some people say that a good superhero movie is based on how good the villain is. And I feel like this movie falls under that. I feel like if Ultron came off a little better, like, say, in the commercial, he seemed a little darker than what we got in the actual movie. So I thought he was going to be a little darker, like, from what I've seen in like an animated series or even what I've seen in the comics. But all in all, it didn't hit like it should have for me. I don't know how it felt. Like you are kind of like looking at it like I can't believe he's putting it right here at 20, but I don't know. I can't call it.
See, the other ones, it's like, you know, I may have disagreed, but it's like they're so close to kind of where you rank them. This one for me is so much higher. And I don't, you know, I see your point, and I think we definitely discussed it when we were talking about what if.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like I agree. I think a lot of this, you know, a lot of the storytelling is based around the villain that we're looking at, you know, but there's also so much more, especially when you're looking at like an MCU film. And with Age of Ultron, I don't know, there was just so many things I did really love about it. Like I think this is, you know, this is the or we hit into Civil
Mm-hmm.
War. And so I feel like this started to show some of the cracks of the foundation in the team as the Avengers as a
Mm-hmm.
whole. Conflicts between, you know, Tony and Cap, you know, like they're even just even like the like what's with Bruce Banner,
Mm-hmm.
just like his like it's just there's a lot of conflict within the team
Mm-hmm.
that I think is very foundational to then how we shift into Civil War. And I get what you say about the villain, but also the way they explain it makes me feel okay about the villain. You know, he's not just you know, Bruce, but he's also kind of like displayed as Tony's son, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense for him to have this kind of, you know, lighthearted like disposition, if you will. And I think that they played it well, and that there's a lot of, but I get it, because I was gonna say like I feel like they played it well with like the banter, him and Iron
Mm-hmm.
Man. But I guess it does come down to preference at that point, because sometimes like I do get that it can pull you out of like the story that
Right.
we're seeing, you
Right.
know? So it's like I see it, but I'm like, oh, like I still want to bring it up higher, and
Well,
especially
listen,
because it's
we
also.
may
Oh, go
we
ahead.
may very
Sorry.
well just because re-looking at the list, there's one I actually want to put in place of it. So it is gonna go higher, but and then listen, you just said your piece and I appreciate it, but I totally forgot about Iron Man 3. So I'm gonna put Iron Man 3 at number 20. What'd you say?
Oh my god, I didn't even see. For me, Iron Man 3 is actually rated higher than Age of
Oh,
Ultron.
is it?
It is, and oh god, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm just gonna start vetoing
No,
everything.
and
Oh,
this is the
but
place
you're
to veto it. Like I'm totally open to this conversation. Now you're saying you would put Iron Man 3 over Age of Ultron. Now, that Iron Man 3 aside,
okay.
what do you think would go below Age of Ultron?
Me, I might just keep you with Age of Ultron
Okay.
because I feel like Iron Man 3. The reason I think that one is in my opinion just overall Age of Ultron for me is Iron Man 3. I think was the film immediately after Avengers, right? Which
Mhm.
was at that time like the most epic thing we've ever seen. You
Correct.
know, we didn't. I'm like, how is it gonna get better?
Mhm.
Little did we
Right.
know. Little did we know.
Mhm.
So there's they could have gone much more like movie right after Avengers
Wait.
because how do you do what were you gonna
No,
say?
cuz you broke up. You said they would.
Three and try to attempt it to be a lot and bigger just for it to follow Avengers, but they kind of brought it in more like internally where you saw Tony struggle with a lot of like the PTSD struggles of a human, which I think are so important for us as like viewers and fans because that's what like draws us in as like a person. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I love that they basically stripped him down to just Tony, and even then he was able to, like defeat which is the Mandarin. Which I mean, if we're talking about like villains that weren't done as great, I think that's maybe that we could have put on there. I don't know, but I think I could yield because I think either one could kind of go around that same area, whether it's Age of Ultron or Iron Man 3. But there's something I really really love about Iron Man 3. Like I love seeing Tony being stripped down to just like the man in a way,
Mhm.
and still have him overcome those things. There's something I really love about
But
that.
say, with that being said, that is the movie. Like, I remember watching the preview and seeing all of the suits, and I was just super excited to see, let's say, the Hulkbuster suit. I remember seeing that in the trailer. That was like, oh shit, he's got a super jacked Iron Man suit that can take out the Hulk or something. But when watching it, I'm with you. Like, I love the fact that they kind of broke him down with the whole PTSD of New York and everything like that. But the whole storyline of the Mandarin, I feel like, is the reason why Shang-Chi had to make up for it. I feel like the Mandarin was pretty much the only piece in that movie that brought that down. I feel like, again, another aspect to where the villain could have been better, but I was just confused just because in the commercial, they, of course, they're not going to reveal everything, they're not going to spoil it, but they made the actor playing the actor of the Mandarin, he is a good actor. Like, I've seen him in other stuff and he's super dope, and I was like, okay, cool, this guy's about to be killing. And then out of nowhere, he turns out to be an English actor, and he's not badass. He's just somebody acting for the quote unquote Mandarin of the story.
like just in general, like I'm thinking to the scene when Iron Man's like, "Oh, are you?" with like the gun in his face. He's like, "I am Trevor."
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's calm down.
Right.
And that scene was so funny. But you know something like, and even when I was kind of explaining why I feel like I would want it higher than Age of Ultron, as soon as I started remembering the Mandarin and just that storyline, I'm like, oh wait, actually, like that's where my like own rebuttal was starting to like diminish. So if we're comparing it, and especially based like both of them, I think have great aspects to it, but I think what does pull them down are the villains
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, you know. And if we're comparing Iron Man 3 to Age of Ultron and we bring it down to that final little aspect, I think I would actually agree then. Okay, okay, I'll settle. I'll settle. Iron Man 3.
Okay.
What's our list so far?
So
Just
so
a quick
far from the
review.
bottom. So far from the bottom, we have 27 Thor: The Dark World, 26 The Incredible Hulk, 25 Eternals, 24 Thor, 23 Captain Marvel, 22 Ant-Man and the Wasp, 21 Captain America: First Avenger, 20 Age of Ultron, 19 Iron Man 3. All right, so we're up to 18 now, and I don't know. I think I just picked two, maybe, possibly. So, Grace, if you could just go ahead and pick the next one.
So my my next one is Doctor Strange. I preface all of
What?
these with I feel like I have to preface all of these with like not because it's a not a good movie
Mm-hmm.
because it
Mm-hmm.
is. I don't like I think personally for me I just rank others a lot higher. Like I don't know. Doctor Strange is great, but maybe it's because it's been so long since it's come
Mm-hmm.
out and we've only seen him as smaller roles that it's like harder to kind of grasp into
Mm-hmm.
it. But that's just the next one for me. But I'm very open to any rebuttals or films that you think might rank a little lower than Doctor Strange.
This list is getting tight. Like, just looking at 17 and up to number one, I can't really put anything else under there. Um, okay, so no argument there. Number 17. Say as of right now, number 17 is gonna come down to two movies for me. Um, rightful. No, I won't say rightfully so, but say it's either going to be uh Guardians Volume 2 or Spider-Man Far From Home. Those two, I can't decide. I like them both. It's just that when it came down to Far From Home for me, again Mysterio, even though like I get Mysterio is more so about the illusions, I don't know. It was in comparison to No Way Home and Homecoming, Far From Home I think is maybe the I won't say, I hate to say the worst of the three, but I like the other two better. But now Far From Home versus Guardians of the Galaxy. Um Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Just thinking back, we get Ego. We find out Peter Quill's family lineage from Ego. But I'm trying to think what stood out. And I know you love Guardians. Tell me what stood out for you in Guardians Volume 2. Tell me why it shouldn't be 17, because it's either that for me or Far From Home. So you go ahead.
Volume two for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume two is like a lot higher on my list, but it's for huge bias reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the more we talk about other films, I'm like, no, 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 I can kind of see why it might be lower overall as like, you know, looking at the
Right.
MCU. I think the biggest thing about like the Guardians of the Galaxy films that I love so much is that they have such an amazing formula that was so good that they even, you know, tailored it into the like Thor Ragnarok, which
Mm-hmm.
saved that character. Like Thor, I think that third film, I'm just it might be misremembering. I feel like that was supposed to be his last one until they were like, oh
Yeah.
no, we cracked it,
Yeah.
and now it's like, dude, we're gonna keep going. And I
Mm-hmm.
think Chris Hemsworth was like, I will play this role as long as you guys want me to. So I think, and if it wasn't for Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, I feel like that wouldn't have happened,
Right.
you know. But there's just such a concrete formula that works with it. Um, I love the synergy with like the music. I feel like that's just so artistic of it. Is like the music that we hear in the world of Guardians of the Galaxy for both
Mm-hmm.
volumes are part of that world. You know, it's not a soundtrack that we're listening independent from those events,
Right.
and it's weaved together in a way that you just appreciate so
Mm-hmm.
much. And I don't know, like there's the dynamic of the group is something that I absolutely love. You know, like I think it's similar to watching like Suicide Squad too, and obviously it's also another James Gunn thing where I feel like the chemistry within the group is so amazing. It's meant to be lighthearted. Like this is where we're open and we want those like wine liners, we want those little side remarks. Like, and I think they hit it so well. Drax in this film, I remember watching this in theaters. Like I could not breathe. Like at how much you know well done. With that being said, though, with that being said, Spider-Man, which one
Far
is it?
From
Far From
Home.
Home? Is that the one you're going?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like so caught up in it. I'm not sure. I would say I would rate it higher up. I think it just flows very smoothly as a film that I enjoy it much more, but I am so heavily biased. You know, but I wouldn't argue right now. At least I don't think I have anything
Mm-hmm.
like honestly Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I think I prefaced by saying like, oh, it's much higher on my list. It's actually pretty damn close to where you have it.
Yeah.
So I would say either placement might just be fine
Okay.
for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 16 is you. You go ahead.
So what you said Far From Home and then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, is that what you
I
put
haven't
down?
moved Far From Home yet. I've just moved volume 2 down to number 17. So you have number 16. Wait, wait. Mic check. Say something. No, I can't hear anything. Come on. There it
What
is. Okay.
is it
Okay.
today? Is it my hair?
Maybe. Who knows? Keep your hair back. Put
These
it in a
are
ponytail.
these are the same mics. I know. Um, Dang, this is where it gets really tough. It gets really tough. Mm, I would put next is Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, there.
I'm sorry.
Oh, debate time. It is. There it is. moving Captain America, the Winter Soldier to number 16. Talk to us. Talk. Give us your reasoning why, and then I'll chime in.
Uh, the say just higher than say the films that we've seen is that I think it takes the story that we've seen not just with the Avengers and his individual film, but I think this lines up really well with like the show on Netflix, the Agents of Shield.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I love and respect about how these things have been weaved, and I feel like how this film, like I think it set off a lot of events and like in Agents of Shield and stuff like that too. And as a film itself, I think it just really shows Cap has, you know, being who he is, being separated from time. Hold on. Can you
I
guys
can
hear
hear
me?
you, but
Maybe
your
there's a
camera
disruption
went
on my
out.
phone.
There it is. Yeah.
There. I'm good? Okay. Um, and it's just I love how they show him in this film. But the reason I don't have it higher is just like I think we start getting into some films that are just so huge beyond themselves. Like we have like like Black Panther coming out. We have like all the other ones like Shang-Chi, and it's just the ones that we have on top. I can't really lower them in my opinion. I feel like that's where I would smack Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Again, not because it's
Mm-hmm.
bad. I just feel like the ones coming up are just so huge, you know, and significant throughout. And they have like I don't know. I think they just pull even more heartstrings and more. I don't know. That's kind of why I would put it where it is.
Okay. So it's debate time again.
Hear it.
Just because I would definitely not put Black Widow over Winter Soldier. And I know you love Black Widow and Yelena Belova, but if we're going to compare the two movies, these movies are easily comparable because those are the ones to where they're similar story to where we're talking spy and espionage, who's behind what, and it's another let's say secret agent or whatnot, or super spy or whatnot. Now, if I were to put Black Widow or compare the two story wise, again, the Taskmaster was no Winter Soldier. I didn't get any type of Winter Soldier vibes like, oh shit, it's about to go down. To where we got a majority of Black Widow, not majority, I'll say a good percentage of it was it had its funny moments to where Captain America and the Winter Soldier, it wasn't as heavy as far as the funny. They were sprinkled in even from the beginning, like the whole on your left and everything, and like a couple other things him and Sam had going back and forth. But it just came to the point to where even from start to finish it was all action packed, to where I think Black Widow's a little bit more dramatic. We did get action in it, but I don't think it compares to the Winter Soldier.
Do that, but I want to argue it just
Okay.
a little bit because Black Widow I actually have right above it. Like it's literally like I have those two like neck and neck. So I could yield, but I'd like to kind of push back just
Mhm.
a little bit. With Black Widow, and we both agree, like, I think the biggest fault of all of it is that we just had one film. Like, it had to do so much for just
Mhm.
one film. And I don't think the big purpose of it was for it to have this amazing, like, villain. It was really showcasing Nat. It was wrapping up her story in a way that was very, I think, like, respectful for the character, especially since she was one of the originals, from the first, like, phase. And I think that it showed her story like so it was just so heartfelt, like her relationship with all of her like family members leading to that, like the weight that she carries, and then the way it ends and connects to the events that we then saw in Infinity War, like if we're comparing like villains, if you will, like right, Taskmaster and Bucky, like honestly Taskmaster is like a villain in the way that they displayed it here in Black Widow. I would probably put even like very low on the
Mhm.
rating in terms of like
Mhm.
the villain. But Captain America and the Winter Soldier, like that film was meant to have Bucky be like a
Right.
freaking badass, and this was supposed to be a huge reveal. It was supposed to like weigh a lot. So in terms of like the comparison of the villains, like hands down 100% agree, like Bucky, that for that. But for I wouldn't weigh down Black Widow as a film because of Taskmaster, because I don't think it was meant to be overshadowed by this huge villain. It was supposed to showcase Nat. It was supposed to be a little bit of a passing of the mantle for
Mhm.
Yelena, and I think it did that really well, and I liked it a lot as a
So
film.
so with
Um,
with with that being said, okay, you're saying 100% without a doubt that Black Widow is better than Captain America Winter Soldier.
I did, but I feel like I'm so wishy-washy. Like if we look at other episodes, I probably said otherwise. But right now that we're discussing it, I'm just kind of like I want to say yes. And just because I wouldn't weigh it down as much because of Taskmaster, I don't know, Lord. But like I said, I literally have it right next to this one, so I'm not opposed to just yielding on that.
Listen, I'll respect you even more if you stand your ground, okay? If you're just like, yes, Black Widow is better, then I'll be like, okay, all right.
Yes, I will say it's better. I will say it's
Okay,
better.
all right.
Ugh.
Jeez Louise, man, oh man, and I cannot believe you have you have Spider-Man Far From Home over the Winter Soldier, but we'll get there because Far From Home is gonna. You know what? Number 15, boom, right there. Actually, no. You know what? I'm lying. Let me just release that, and I'm gonna put Black Widow right there. Black Widow's number 15.
I honestly have it on my list. There you go.
Okay. All right. Now that we got Black Widow out of the way. Number 14. Your go. You go ahead. Who you got? Because it's getting, like, say right now in the top 14, it's starting to, I don't know.
Oh, at this point. Let me see.
Hold on. Jesse
Twitching.
Pinkman said he
I'm
was just
drunk.
like, first Hulk, now Winter Soldier. Chill, save us. I couldn't take that third hit.
Jesse, I'm so sorry. I don't mean to hurt you.
Yeah.
See, now I'm like so hesitant to bring the next one. Like, you're gonna watch him just like click out off of my next like
Oh my
pick or
goodness.
something.
Like, who do
Let
we
me
have?
see.
Because right now we're at 14. So who do you have for 14?
I'm gonna put in Spider-Man
Holy
Homecoming.
sh.
No, Far From Home. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Far From Home.
Okay.
Far From Home. Sorry, I misspoke. Far From Home.
Okay. All right.
Ah,
All right. I don't have anything to debate there because that one of like I would say 6 through 20 is gonna be like a mixture of good and better movies. So it's like there are no bad movies here. So I'm not mad at the list minus the Winter Soldier being so low. But when it comes down to, let's say, number 13, because we're in the thick of it right now. 13, I think I'm going to put Marvel's The Avengers at number 13. Okay. Good? You're good? Great. Awesome.
yes. I think this is like the only one I haven't said anything
Okay.
about.
All right. Like
Okay.
that was like a good intro like for them coming together, but now from 12 and up, this is like down to the nitty-gritty, okay? So who do you got at number 12?
We haven't put Iron Man 2
No, we
yet, have
haven't.
we? I don't think we. I think that's where I put Iron Man 2. And it's I don't know. I'm like now wondering because we put Avengers down. I'm like, do I like Avengers more than Iron
Do
Man
you want to put
2?
Iron Man 2 at 13 and have Avengers number 12?
So I kind of
Okay.
want to, just because I think you said it like Avengers just was like like back then that was like a
Mm-hmm.
whoa, like we've never seen anything like this before. Like now that seems so little in comparison to what we have at this point. But I would say it would go like Iron Man 2 and then Avengers
Okay.
in my book.
So that has put us at say Iron Man 2 number 13 and then Avengers number 12. So for number 11, that is where I'm going to throw Homecoming. Because 10 and up, this is kind of crazy. So number 11, I have as Homecoming. Okay. Cool. All right, give us number 10.
Because this is the top
Top
10 now.
10.
Like, this is a big deal. Lord. And, okay. So, my top 10, I have, first one on there is, I'm like so hesitant to say these things now. I have Iron
Iron Man as
Man.
number 10. Wait, say that again. Okay. Cool.
The first on that 10. So,
Gotcha.
number
Okay.
10. Yes.
Cool. Great movie. No issues there. Now, number 9. Mm, Number 9 is where I will put Ant-Man. No, I did it again. Back up. Back up. All right, we're good. We're good. All right. Did you say anything? I'm sorry. Did you say anything about Ant-Man at number 9? You're good there? Okay.
That's good.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, number 8.
Number 8, this is where I have Black
Okay.
Panther.
Like, say, like, the trend right now from 10 and up, we're kind of bringing these, like, solo heroes kind of down to the bottom 10, like, the bottom of the top 10. But I'm not mad. Like, say, Black Panther, I went to the theater twice to watch it, you know? It's great. But say right now, 7 and up, I've seen all of these multiple times. So I can't really say anything. Okay, so number 7. Okay, Grace. We're gonna have a conversation, okay? Just because, as far as number 7, it's gonna come back to 2. You know what? No, never mind. F the 2. I'm gonna put my foot down, and I am going to put Guardians, the first Guardians, at number 7. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, where I fall on this, like I'm a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, but in retrospect, as like the MCU, like we're at the top 10. Like I'm like slapping them anywhere in like the middle of the top 10. I think I agree. Like that's good.
Okay, we're down to 6.
Let's see. So I have Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi at number 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, cool. All right, so we have Shang-Chi at number 6. Then number 5. I'm putting Thor Ragnarok there. Because the 4 I have above it, they can all easily be number 1 to me, but that is just that is me. So I have as good as Thor Ragnarok was, it could be 1 too, but I'm thinking just story wise and the story of the other 4 movies that we have up here. It's hard to compare that with the other 4, if you get me.
So like with the ones that we have remaining, like I have like Civil War being the one I had in place of where you put Thor Ragnarok. I have Thor like on the one right above it. But it's overall like I mean when you kind of mentioned it, the story, looking at just like how it affects all of the MCU. Like Ragnarok was just a piece of work. Like it was amazing, especially in comparison to the other 2 Thor films. But you know, I think it's good. I think it's good where it is because I can definitely see like.
Well, you can definitely see what?
You know. Well, I have a Ragnarok say like higher on my list than Civil War. That's like the ones I have kind of switched around. But in terms of like the story and then looking at all the other ones, like I could see, yeah, I'll keep Thor where you have it.
I just put Civil War at number 4 just to kind of save that because 1, 2, and 3, those three movies, Infinity War, Endgame, and No Way Home, right now they're the top movies in the MCU, without a doubt. Like out of 27 movies, these 3, we haven't discussed the order yet, but these 3 are my top 3 no matter what. Like I made like a little list with my brother, and he agreed as well, you know. So it's kind of hard to beat these 3. Okay, so number 4 right now we have Civil War. So what do you have at number 3? And listen, you can say what you can say because I'm not I can't argue anything. I won't be mad. All of these are great. I have an idea of who I want at number 3. Let's just see what you're gonna put there.
Have like the top three being the same, which makes sense because, like you said, overall, like they are the top three films
Mm-hmm.
in the MCU,
Mm-hmm.
like done. And so the one I have for number three is
Okay.
Infinity War.
Wow.
You're like, Grace, I'm not gonna argue
I said
any of your
that. I
placement.
said
I think
that,
you're
and you
fine.
chose
Let's
it,
do
and
it.
I'm
Let's
not gonna
say
argue
it.
it just because these three are interchangeable. It's just for me, I would have put Infinity War over Endgame, um, just because to me that one had a little bit more of an impact. Endgame was great. The story was I don't want to say drawn out, but it is. I think it's the isn't it the longest movie to date?
I would say you can call it drawn out. Like I feel like they very specifically made like that first third to a half of the movie so freaking long with so much slow pace, almost as a way for us to just be very like angsty. Like I think that
Mm-hmm.
was very
Mm-hmm.
purposeful, which I don't mind because I don't think it was accidental. Like I think they made it that way because they know
Mm-hmm.
we were waiting for it, you know? And like I agree. I think any of these tops feel like I can kind of like shift around, just because they're amazing. And honestly, it's kind of like what movie did you just recently watch? Like that'll probably be leaning the one you lean on
Mm-hmm.
to be the number one. But all three of these top ones, like they hit the
Mm-hmm.
MCU fandom. You know, Infinity War, like at the end of it, like I think that shattered everyone because that was the first time that our heroes have
Mm-hmm.
ever lost, like truly ever lost the battle. Like there's almost a rule of like we know in the end of the movie it's gonna be fine, you know? Like as much like hardship as they go through
Mm-hmm.
in like the middle of the film, the ending will be fine. Like the villain will be defeated. That's almost been like the
Right.
golden rule. And this was not the case whatsoever. Like they plainly and clearly lost, and half of the
Yeah.
people everywhere were gone. And for me, I have it at number three just because for Endgame, like I think it's like
Wait. Wait. Hold on. Mic went out. Try it again. End game.
uh,
Yes.
hello, it's the hair. I don't know what it is. For me, just like Endgame, I think it just gave on it in a lot of things. Like a lot of juicy stuff we
Mm-hmm.
wanted was there. A lot of stuff we didn't even know we still wanted to
Mm-hmm.
see was there. You know, like Cap getting the hammer. You know, all of
Yep.
the female like characters
Mm-hmm.
bundling together. Like there's just so many things that have been like, I mean, just a way to really finish
Yeah.
off the saga. You know, and so I think that's why Endgame does deserve a spot above Infinity War. But I mean, we're
Right.
talking about the
And
top
say
three.
with
Like these
those
are,
three,
yeah.
right? These three was these were a first for a lot of things. Like you mentioned, like in Infinity War is the first time the Avengers lost because initially, even though like years before it came out, it was at either a D23 or Comic Con. They had put out the actual timeline and when movies were being released. They had Infinity War Part One and Infinity War Part Two. It wasn't called Endgame. It was just called Infinity War Part Two. So I knew that the story wasn't going to be finished. But in watching Infinity War, is like I'm over here thinking, okay, damn, they lost on Titan. Maybe they win in Wakanda. Boom, they lost. So it's like the movie just ends with them losing. So it's like the first time they lose, and then Endgame is the first time we witness time travel, uh, and everybody gets snapped back, so not all is lost. And then no, not Homecoming, No Way Home. We get the first time we get all three Spider-Man in one movie, and also more talk about the multiverse. This is like another introduction into the multiverse, you know. So at the end of the day, these three movies I can say are almost like, I don't want to say three pillars, but they're three first um of this saga. You know, it's like we had a whole bunch of different stories. We had 27 full movies, but like like you said, a lot of it is like you already know that the hero will win, you know, and will come out victorious, you know. So we have three as Infinity War. Now, that is going to leave it up to me as far as the runner up. Okay. And
Deciding the first one at the same
the
time.
runner up for the CCU MCU ranking at number 2, we're gonna put Endgame at number 2.
I agree. That's my order. Yeah, that's the
Okay.
same order I had. Spider-Man. Hold on. No. And let me give you guys the winner to the CCU MCU lineup.
There it is.
Number 1,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man.
Yep.
No Way Home.
Mic drop. Okay, so
Woo!
I'm going to wait before I submit it because I am going to submit it to save it. But as of right now, let's read everything from the bottom. Okay, we're just going to run right through it. And Jesse Pinkman, you said you finished your list, so as soon as I read this off, go ahead and type your top 5 and your bottom 5 because I'm curious just to see, because everything in the middle, it can go either way. But say right now, 27, Thor the Dark World. 26, The Incredible Hulk. 25, Eternals. 24, Thor. 23, Captain Marvel. 22, Ant-Man and the Wasp. 21, Captain America the First Avengers. 20, Age of Ultron. 19, Iron Man 3. 18, Doctor Strange. 17, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 16, Captain America the Winter Soldier. 15, the Black Widow. 14, Far From Home. 13, Iron Man 2. 12, Avengers. 11, Homecoming. 10, Iron Man. 9, Ant-Man. 8, Black Panther. 7, Guardians of the Galaxy. 6, Shang-Chi. 5, Ragnarok. 4, Civil War. 3, Infinity War. 2, Endgame. And number 1, No Way Home. So that is our list, ladies and gentlemen.
Our list.
I'm
Yes.
not mad, except for the Winter Soldier, but you know, that's just me. I'll be biased towards it. But all in all, when it comes down to it, I thought this would be like a fun activity to do as a filler, just being that we don't have any movies or shows from Marvel. And I believe the Peacemaker comes out this Sunday, so we're gonna maybe switch gears into DC. And Grace and I, we may have to chat about it later, but we have an idea of actually recapping Falcon and the Winter Soldier, just to put it out there into the universe. Like I said, I watched the first one last week, first episode, and I want to finish just because it was a good show, you know? So at the end of the day, wait, Jesse, where you at? You said, yeah, I said, give me your top 5 and your bottom 5. Before we even clock out, just go ahead and type it out just so we know. It may take a second. Grace, let's kill some time. All right, so
Real quick. So Peacemaker actually came out yesterday. So they debuted with 3 full episodes, but obviously that's a lot to rush and break down for you guys, and we want to make sure we give you guys quality breakdowns. So that's why we kind of did this episode today. It kind of fit really well with the schedule, and so next time that's probably what we're going to be breaking down for you guys. But whenever we do get the chance to do Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like, I'm so excited. I mean, we've been excited to kind of break it down. Obviously, the CCU after that show had ended, we were like in the middle of Loki. But yeah, I'm just
can
really
you show
excited.
off your Team Gray shirt real quick?
I finally found it. She was in like the back of my closet. I was like, oh, I'll keep her safe here, and then I completely forgot that I put her
Was there
there.
anything on the back or no?
Yes, there is.
Yep,
Ready,
yep.
ready, ready, ready. Can you
Oh,
see it?
there it
Hold
is.
on.
Yep, the comic cinematic universe.
There it
There it
is.
is. All right, so Jesse has given us both top five and bottom five. And top five, we have No Way Home at number five. Damn. Number four, Civil War. Three, Infinity War. Two, the first Iron Man, and one, Winter Soldier. Okay. And then bottom five, we have 27 is Captain Marvel, 26 Eternals, 25 Dark World, 24 Guardians Volume 2, 23 Iron Man 2, uh 22 Black Widow, and 21 the first Thor. Okay. So he brought Black Widow way down there, which is cool. I've had my gripes with it, but we've already made
That
our list. And where did Black Widow land? Number 15. Okay, so it's somewhere in the middle. It's better than our bottom five. Is it better than the Hulk? I don't know. I'm just gonna rewatch the Hulk this weekend, the Incredible Hulk. But now switching gears, bringing it back to our original screen, to our first screen. Uh, Again, this was episode 17 of the Comic Cinematic Universe. This was a quick one. This was what, like, we're running on an hour 10. Usually, lately, we've been kind of averaging around an hour and a half. So, thank you. Jesse said it was an excellent episode. Thanks. Appreciate it. And
we appreciate you watching, man.
definitely. For sure. All right. So, tune in next Friday. We will post up what we're going to chat about next week before Friday. Grace and I just have to have a full-on conversation as far as what we want our next topic to be. But tune in next Friday, same time, 3:30 Pacific time. And yeah, we will catch you all on the next one. Later, Grace. You have a good weekend.
Bye, chill.
All
You too.
right.